Let's go back to 1918. In a tiny village called Mvezo, South Africa, a baby boy is born into the Thembu royal family. His name, Rolihlahla Mandela. It means pulling the branch of a tree, or more freely, troublemaker. But no one could have guessed how powerful this boy's destiny would become. At age 7, when he went to school, his teacher gave him an English name, Nelson. It was a colonial tradition back then. But to the world, that name would one day mean courage, strength, and forgiveness. As Mandela grew, so did his awareness. He saw how white South Africans had everything: land, power, privilege. Black South Africans, on the other hand, couldn't vote, couldn't own land, couldn't even walk freely in certain areas. It wasn't just unfair, it was inhumane. And Mandela knew something had to change. He moved to Johannesburg, studied law, and became one of the first black lawyers in the country. Every day he saw the law being used as a weapon, not for justice, but for control. It was clear, to fight the system, he couldn't just follow the rules. He had to challenge them. In 1944, Mandela joined the African National Congress, ANC. He started organizing peaceful protests, marches, boycotts, speeches. He believed in non-violence at first. But the government wasn't listening. Instead, they were killing protesters. Mandela helped form an armed wing of the ANC, Umkhonto we Sizwe, meaning Spear of the Nation. They planned sabotage attacks on government buildings, never to kill but to shake the system. He knew the risk, and in 1962 he was caught. Mandela stood in court facing life imprisonment. He looked straight at the judge and said, "I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society. It is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." And with that, he was sentenced to life in prison. His prison was a small cell on Robben Island. Bare walls, thin mat, a bucket for a toilet. From morning to evening, he crushed stones under the sun. But Mandela didn't break. He read, he studied, he led, even from behind bars. As the years passed, Mandela became more than a man. He became a symbol. Across South Africa and the world, people chanted his name. Free Mandela was painted on walls in London, shouted in concerts in America, and whispered in protests across Africa. The pressure grew. Nations cut ties with South Africa. Businesses pulled out. The apartheid regime, once so strong, started to crack. And after 27 years in prison, in 1990, Mandela was finally released. Most expected him to come out with fire in his eyes. 27 years stolen from him. But instead, Mandela smiled. He shook hands with his former jailers. He said, "As I walked out the door toward my freedom, I knew that if I didn't leave my bitterness behind, I would still be in prison." Mandela didn't seek revenge. He sought unity. He spoke to both black and white South Africans. He told them, "We must live together or perish together as fools." He launched the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. It allowed victims to tell their stories and perpetrators to confess, not to punish, but to heal. In 1994, South Africa held its first democratic elections. People lined up for hours. Black, white, Indian, colored, all voting together. And they chose Nelson Mandela as their first black president. The crowd cheered, tears flowed, and history was made. From prisoner to president, a journey no one had imagined. Mandela served only one term. He believed that power wasn't something to hold forever. It was something to use wisely and then pass on. He spent his later years advocating for peace, education, and HIV awareness. Wherever he went, the world listened. Because this man had walked through pain and come out with peace. Nelson Mandela passed away in 2013, but his spirit, it lives on. In every child who dares to dream, in every nation that chooses peace over revenge, and in every heart that chooses forgiveness over hatred. It always seems impossible until it's done.